In a small village nestled along the sacred riverbanks of rural Indonesia, there is a tale that millions of silver and goldfish swim in the crystal-clear river, creating a natural spectacle that is both mesmerizing and enchanting. This river is not only a valuable ecological resource, but also a sanctuary of sacred beauty, where the spirits of nature reside and safeguard the villagers' lives. Under the sunlight, schools of fish shimmer like freshly extracted pearls, weaving back and forth, reflecting a vibrant and vivid tapestry of colors. The villagers believe that these fish are messengers sent by the gods to bring luck, health, and prosperity. They teach their children that capturing or harming these fish would incur divine wrath and bring disastrous consequences to the entire village. Therefore, instead of using nets or fishing rods, the villagers choose to protect and preserve the river as a sacred duty, an integral part of their spiritual rituals and culture. Annually, during festivals and celebrations, the villagers hold ceremonies to honor the river and the fish within it. They bring flowers, candles, and offerings to express their deep gratitude to nature for bestowing upon them such a precious river, while also praying for enduring peace and prosperity. Let's uncover the mystery behind the strange appearance of millions of densely packed fish in a sacred river in Indonesia in our latest video on the Nature Farm channel. The pristine beauty of nature holds many secrets that not everyone dares to explore. Why does no one dare to catch these fish? The answer will surprise you. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any videos from Nature Farm, where we always bring you the most incredible discoveries about nature and our environment. Now, let's start exploring with us. In the field of aquatic ecology, mass fish die-offs like those seen in Australia and other phenomena in Indonesia and Tibet have highlighted the complex relationship between aquatic biology and environmental changes. In Australia, reports from New South Wales describe an alarming phenomenon where millions of fish carcasses, primarily carp and bony herring, were found floating on the river's surface. These deaths are attributed to a combination of factors, including hot weather causing low oxygen levels in the water, as well as increased oxygen demand by fish in high water temperatures. Meanwhile, in Indonesia, another fascinating biological event was observed where millions of catfish densely populated a sacred river. This rare natural occurrence reflects the rich biodiversity of the region. In Tibet, thousands of tons of shrimp and fish were found in vast lakes, left unharvested due to religious beliefs and respect for nature. These phenomena are not merely isolated ecological events, but also reflect the broad impact of climate change and anthropogenic factors on aquatic ecosystems. Events like floods have increased fish populations in some areas, but habitat changes due to extreme weather and water level fluctuations have led to high mortality rates. Combined with the increased oxygen demand during hot weather, this reduces dissolved oxygen levels in water, ultimately leading to mass fish deaths. These events provide insights into the interaction between natural and human-made factors, emphasizing the importance of researching and protecting aquatic ecosystems. Policies and interventions must be designed to adapt to the challenges posed by climate change and human activities, ensuring the sustainability of these valuable aquatic resources. In recent years, mass fish deaths have become a familiar issue to people around the world. Specifically, in 2019, thousands of dead fish were discovered in Australia. The prolonged and increasingly severe global warming has led to more frequent and intense heat waves in the country. Climate change-induced temperature increases have had serious consequences, including spikes in extreme temperatures and rainfall, as well as an increase in dangerous wildfires. Experts and government agencies have continuously warned about this situation, predicting that climate change will continue to pose challenges to aquatic environments. Additionally, in Indonesia, another fascinating phenomenon has been observed: the gathering of millions of catfish in the sacred Bengawan Solo River, which locals dare not catch. The local community believes these fish are sacred, left by their ancestors, and need to be protected and cared for across generations. This reflects a profound cultural characteristic where religion and local customs are closely linked to environmental conservation. This phenomenon is not merely a unique natural event, but also a symbol of the unique integration of spiritual elements and environmental protection within the community. The respect and protection of catfish in the Bengawan Solo River demonstrate a deep understanding of the sacred value of nature, as well as a desire to maintain spiritual connections with ancestors. This is a prime example of how communities can contribute to biodiversity conservation through their beliefs in traditional practices, while also enhancing awareness of the importance of environmental protection in the context of global climate change. Over thousands of years of adapting to their environment, the catfish species has demonstrated a strong ability to survive and flourish, now dominating the ecosystem of the rivers where they live. Their presence has become an integral part of the daily life of the local community, reflecting a deep connection and respect they have for nature, as well as long-standing cultural traditions. This phenomenon is familiar to the natives, but presents a novel and intriguing aspect to visitors. Moreover, this respect is clearly demonstrated through the conservation of aquatic species in sacred lands like Tibet, where Buddhist culture is profoundly ingrained. Here, a sacred lake, though not very large, contains a fish population exceeding 800,000 tons. However, no local dares to fish in this lake, showing their reverence for nature and spiritual culture. The terrain of Tibet, with its diversity from high mountains to valleys and deserts, along with a complex network of rivers and lakes, has created a picturesque landscape, particularly the pristine beauty of Yamdrok Lake. This lake is not only renowned for its poetic scenery, but is also known as one of Tibet's giant fish reserves, with a fish stock that could exceed 800,000 tons. The existence and conservation of aquatic populations under such harsh natural conditions not only demonstrate biological adaptation, but also underscore the close relationship between humans and their environment, reflecting the local community's conservation efforts and deep understanding of the ecosystem. These are quintessential examples that highlight the importance of biodiversity conservation and the necessity of maintaining balance in the natural ecosystem. In the unique environment of the plateau region, where oxygen scarcity and harsh weather are typical, the growth cycles of fish populations in natural lakes are observed to be significantly slower compared to lower altitudes. Despite the total weight of these fish populations, potentially reaching 800,000 tons, this figure is the result of natural growth processes spanning decades, even centuries. Under such pristine environmental conditions, these native aquatic species are generally favored by the local population. Surprisingly, however, these fish populations appear to be neither exploited nor fished. The primary reason is not due to governmental restrictions or legal regulations, but stems from the long-standing dietary habits and religious beliefs of the Tibetan people. The local culinary culture is diverse and emphasizes clean ingredients. The people prefer meat, but avoid certain animals, including fish. According to local beliefs, fish in Tibetan lakes are considered embodiments of water deities, similar to how Jamrock is viewed as incarnations of nymphs. Therefore, fish are revered and never harvested for commercial or consumption purposes. This reflects a deep connection between religious culture and the daily activities of the Tibetan community, also preserving this valuable natural resource. In Tibetan culture, profound respect for the life of all creatures is evident in their dietary habits and burial practices. From a religious perspective, minimizing the taking of life is essential, which is why Tibetans often choose to slaughter one cow instead of many fish. This act not only reflects the belief in sustaining life through the winter, but also reduces the killing of smaller creatures, as one cow can feed a family throughout the season while a fish suffices for only one meal. Additionally, the sacredness of water deeply influences how Tibetans interact with the natural ecosystem. They view water as a source and sustainer of life, thus valuing the preservation of aquatic ecosystems. The practice of water burial, a traditional form of burial, reflects this belief. In water burial, the body is wrapped in a white cloth and released into a river, allowing fish to consume the body, thereby believing that the soul of the deceased merges with the fish, continuing the cycle of life. This burial method not only preserves beliefs, but also contributes to ecological conservation in local water bodies, such as Lake Yamdrok. While not a frequent site for water burial ceremonies, Lake Yamdrok's natural scenery and the spiritual connection between water and fish have kept it revered and pristine for centuries. Ecologically, the lake is alkaline with typically low water temperatures, and the harsh climatic conditions slow down the growth of fish and floating plants. The fish species in Lake Yamdrok have evolved to adapt to these harsh conditions by absorbing scarce nutrients in the lake, which also causes them to accumulate toxins similar to pesticides in their bodies. Therefore, locals and scientists advise against consuming fish from this lake to avoid health risks from toxin accumulation. Through research and deep understanding of the interplay between humans and aquatic ecosystems, Tibetans have showcased a unique model of ecological conservation where religious culture and natural science collectively contribute to environmental and societal sustainability. The Ganges River, known as a sacred symbol of India, holds a central role not only in spiritual life, but also in the culture and history of the nation. This river is a crucial element in maintaining the biodiversity and ecosystem of the region, as well as a hub for religious and social activities. According to Hindu tradition, the Ganges is not just a body of water, but also regarded as a deity capable of purifying sins for those who bathe in its waters. Originating from the Himalayas, the river flows through the vast plains of India before emptying into the Bay of Bengal through Bangladesh. With a total length of approximately 2,510 kilometers, the Ganges is not only a primary water source for hundreds of millions of people, but also serves as a main transportation artery, supporting agriculture and industry in the area. The importance of the Ganges in religion and Indian culture can be seen in its presence in many ancient texts, including the Vedas, Puranas, Ramayana, and Mahabharata. The mythological stories and legends associated with the Ganges describe the rich spiritual and cultural wealth that the river brings to India. In religious events like the Kumbh Mela festival, the Ganges becomes the focal point for millions of devotees coming to perform purification rituals. For instance, in the city of Haridwar, one of the holy sites along the Ganges, up to 5 million people can gather in a single day to participate in this festival. This event is not only a demonstration of devotion, but also a testament to the deep connection between the Indian people and this sacred river. The Ganges also contributes to the Indian economy by providing water for agriculture, domestic use, and industry. However, the over-reliance on the Ganges also poses challenges related to water management and environmental protection. Increasing pollution and declining water quality demand more sustainable conservation and management measures. In summary, the Ganges is more than just a river. It is the center of both spiritual and material life, bridging the past with the present and sustaining millions of Indians daily. It holds a revered place in Hinduism and is an inseparable part of the nation's identity. In the history of human culture, rivers are not merely flowing water, but also profound symbols of beliefs and culture. The Ganges River in India holds a special position, emphasized through the works of renowned poets such as Virgil, Ovid, and Dante. For many generations, the Ganges is perceived not just as a river, but as a spiritual space that flows through the three realms: heaven, earth, and hell, as depicted in Sanskrit texts with the term Tripathaga. In Hindu culture, the Ganges holds such a sacred role that people believe bathing in this river can cleanse all sins. This reflects not only a spiritual belief, but also shows the connection between humans and nature. Furthermore, contact with this river is also thought to bring salvation. This is why the ashes of the deceased are often merged into this sacred river in many rituals. Sacred rivers like the Ganges are crucial not only in religious and cultural aspects, but also in the daily lives of millions. They are seen as an inseparable part of the spiritual and physical cultural heritage of nations and communities. The Ganges and similar rivers often host religious ceremonies and symbolize the bond between humans and nature. These rivers also inspire various forms of local art and culture, from poetry and classical music to handicrafts and traditional festivals, reflecting a deep connection between nature and human creativity. Sacred rivers around the world play a pivotal role in sustaining water supplies for agricultural and industrial activities, while also serving as rich ecosystems with diverse biological resources, providing essential food and materials for humans and animals. In these natural environments, locals often refrain from fishing for seafood such as shrimp and fish due to various reasons, including religion, spirituality, and environmental conservation. Religiously and spiritually, sacred rivers are often associated with profound meanings, considered holy places connected to significant gods or spirits in the spiritual lives of local communities. Fishing in these areas might be seen as a violation of the river's sanctity, leading to strong opposition from religious communities. From a traditional and cultural perspective, some communities have long-standing traditions of protecting and respecting the species living in the rivers. Thus, fishing at these sites not only breaches traditional limits, but can also provoke opposition from communities who value preserving their cultural heritage. From an environmental standpoint, sacred rivers are often habitats for various fish and other animals, where biodiversity plays a crucial role in maintaining ecological balance. Overfishing in these areas can cause severe damage to the ecosystem, leading to the decline of rare fish species and affecting biodiversity richness. Therefore, locals tend to voluntarily restrict such activities to protect the environment. Legally and regulatory-wise, some regions have specific policies governing fishing activities in sacred rivers. These regulations are often designed to limit or require special caution in fishing activities, ensuring that they do not adversely affect the religious, cultural, and environmental values of the locations. Overall, the taboo against fishing for shrimp and fish in sacred rivers reflects a deep respect for the cultural, environmental, and religious values of these places. This emphasizes the importance of protecting and maintaining natural balance, thereby contributing to the sustainability of both the ecosystem and local communities. And that is the miraculous journey to two sacred rivers: the river in Indonesia, where millions of fish swim freely without fear of capture, and the great Ganges River in India, which witnesses numerous spiritual rituals daily. These places are not just water sources, they are profound symbols of culture and belief, where humans and nature are closely connected. Join Nature Farm in continuing to explore and protect these natural wonders. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications so you won't miss any videos. Thank you for watching and see you in the next adventures.